When people walk into an electronics store in the United States today, they're usually greeted by a wall of massive televisions, bright QLED displays, mini LED panels blasting color. And yet, when you ask most TV reviewers or serious home theater fans a simple question, what TV actually has the best picture quality? The answer is still the same: OLED. Not mini LED, not QLED, OLED. And that's because instead of shining light through layers, OLED pixels create their own light. That difference is why Hollywood colorists master movies on OLED reference monitors, and why experts say it produces the most beautiful picture you can buy. In the United States, major brands like Samsung, LG, and Sony are pushing terms like mini LED and QLED, but almost every non-OLED TV still uses the same basic LCD technology. In a country where Americans spend billions of hours watching Netflix, NFL games, and gaming on consoles like PlayStation and Xbox, that OLED difference becomes very noticeable. Once you understand what's really happening inside these screens, you may never look at your TV the same way again. Today on TechVibes, we're breaking down why OLED picture quality still beats every other technology. Stay tuned. So what exactly is OLED? OLED stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode. But the important part isn't the name, it's what each pixel does. In a traditional LCD TV, the screen works like a flashlight shining through a stencil. There's a big backlight behind the display. Then liquid crystal layers try to block or allow that light to create images. Even with modern mini LED TVs that use thousands of dimming zones, it's still basically a giant flashlight behind the screen. OLED flips this idea completely. Every single pixel is its own light source. Imagine over 8 million tiny lights on a 4K OLED display. Each one can turn completely on or completely off. Not dim, off. Zero light. That means when an OLED TV shows black, it's not really displaying black. That pixel is literally turned off. This creates what's called infinite contrast. And contrast is the secret ingredient behind picture quality. Not brightness, not resolution. Contrast. It's what makes stars pop against a night sky. It's what gives movies that cinematic depth. It's what makes shadows in a dark scene actually look real instead of gray. And that's why OLED instantly looks different when you see it in person. But here's where things get really interesting, because OLED's biggest advantage shows up in situations Americans watch the most. Let's talk about movies. If you've ever watched a dark film on a regular TV, maybe a thriller or a sci-fi movie, you might have noticed something strange. The black parts of the screen don't look fully black, they look gray, or slightly glowing. That's called backlight bleed. And it happens because LCD TVs can't perfectly block light from their backlight. Even advanced mini LED TVs struggle with this. OLED doesn't have that problem because there is no backlight. If the scene is dark, the screen becomes truly dark. That's why filmmakers love OLED. When directors color grade movies in studios across the United States, especially in Los Angeles, they rely on displays with extreme contrast accuracy. And OLED monitors have become a huge part of that workflow. So when you watch a movie on OLED at home, you're often seeing something much closer to what the creators actually intended. Now let's talk about something huge for American viewers: sports. From NFL Sundays to NBA playoffs to college football Saturdays, sports are one of the biggest reasons people upgrade their TVs. And this is where OLED delivers another major advantage: motion clarity. Traditional LCD TVs rely on pixel transitions and backlight tricks to handle motion. Fast-moving objects, like a football flying across the field, can sometimes blur. OLED pixels respond almost instantly. That means cleaner motion, sharper moving objects, and smoother action during fast camera pans. For sports fans watching a 75-inch or 83-inch screen in their living room, that difference can be massive. But here's the part nobody talks about enough: gaming. The United States has one of the biggest gaming markets in the world. Millions of players now own PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X consoles, and these systems are designed for modern displays. 4K resolution, 120 Hz refresh rates, low input lag. OLED TVs happen to be incredible for this. Because the pixels react so quickly, input response feels extremely immediate. That's one reason many competitive gamers and tech reviewers recommend OLED for console gaming. Games look vibrant, dark scenes feel immersive, and motion stays incredibly smooth. When you're exploring a dark cave in a game, OLED shows depth that LCD screens struggle to match. And when bright explosions happen, they pop dramatically against those perfect blacks. It's one of those upgrades you don't fully appreciate until you experience it. But wait, because OLED's biggest competition right now is Mini LED. And this is where things get interesting. Mini LED TVs, especially from brands like Samsung, TCL, and Hisense, have made huge improvements. Instead of a single backlight, they use thousands of tiny LEDs behind the screen. These LEDs can dim in zones. So when part of the image is dark, that section dims. When something bright appears, it lights up. It's clever technology. And it's much better than older LCD TVs. But there's still one limitation. Those dimming zones control hundreds or thousands of pixels at once. OLED controls each pixel individually. So if a bright object appears in a dark scene, like a subtitle or a streetlight, Mini LED can sometimes create a glow around it. This is called blooming. OLED doesn't bloom because, again, each pixel controls itself. That precision is incredibly difficult for backlit TVs to replicate. But OLED isn't perfect, and this is where the debate gets real. One of the biggest criticisms of OLED has always been brightness. Mini LED TVs can get extremely bright. That's useful for bright living rooms with lots of sunlight. Older OLED models were noticeably dimmer, but the technology has been evolving fast. New OLED panels, especially the latest generations used in premium TVs, are getting much brighter than before. Some models now use technologies like MLA or advanced heat management to boost brightness significantly, so the gap that once existed is shrinking quickly. Still, if you watch TV in a very bright room during the day, Mini LED might have an advantage. And that's something many American households consider when buying a TV for a sunlit living room. Another concern people often mention is burn-in. This used to be a serious worry. Burn-in happens when static images stay on screen for extremely long periods and leave faint shadows. Think news channel logos or game HUD elements. Early OLED models were more vulnerable. But modern OLED TVs include a lot of protection. Pixel shifting, screen refresh cycles, automatic brightness adjustments. For typical viewing habits, streaming shows, watching sports, gaming normally, burn-in is extremely rare today. Millions of OLED TVs are being used in US homes without issues. Still, if someone plans to leave the same static image on screen all day, LCD might still be safer. It's one of those trade-offs consumers weigh. And here's something fascinating. Despite higher prices, OLED adoption in the United States has grown rapidly. Prices have dropped significantly compared to a few years ago. You can now find OLED TVs in sizes ranging from around 42 inches all the way up to massive 97-inch models. Retailers frequently run sales during major shopping events like Black Friday, and that's helped OLED move from a luxury product into a mainstream premium choice. Meanwhile, TV manufacturers are pushing the technology further. Flexible OLED screens, ultra-thin designs, transparent displays. Even rollable TVs have appeared in concept form. It's clear the industry still believes OLED has enormous potential. Looking toward the future, things could get even more interesting. Some experts believe OLED will continue dominating premium TVs through the rest of this decade. Others think emerging technologies like micro-LED could eventually challenge it. Micro-LED promises self-emissive pixels like OLED, but without organic materials. The catch? Right now, micro-LED TVs cost tens of thousands of dollars. For most American households, that's simply unrealistic. So, for the foreseeable future, the real competition remains OLED versus advanced LCD technologies like Mini LED. And in terms of pure picture quality, OLED still holds the crown. So, what does all of this mean for you? If you're a student or young professional thinking about upgrading your TV, consider how you actually watch content. If you love movies, gaming, or watching shows in the evening with dim lighting, OLED will probably give you the most cinematic experience. If you're a working professional building a home entertainment setup, think about room lighting, screen size, and usage. OLED excels in controlled lighting environments. But very bright living rooms might benefit from a bright Mini LED option. And if you're a business owner designing spaces like sports bars, gaming lounges, or media rooms. OLED can deliver stunning visuals that grab attention and elevate the experience. But the biggest takeaway is this: TV technology keeps evolving. Marketing terms keep changing. Yet one simple principle still defines the best image quality: perfect contrast, and OLED's ability to turn individual pixels completely off still gives it an advantage that other technologies are struggling to replicate. It's why movie lovers swear by it, why gamers rave about it, and why, even with all the competition, OLED continues to set the standard. So next time you're standing in front of that wall of TVs at your local electronics store, look closely. Notice the deep blacks. Notice the contrast. Notice the depth in the image. Because once you see it, it's hard to unsee. And that's the real reason OLED picture quality still beats every other TV technology, at least for now. If you enjoyed this deep dive into display technology, make sure to subscribe to TechVibes for more videos breaking down the tech shaping our future. And I want to hear from you. Are you Team OLED? Or do you think Mini LED or another technology will eventually take the lead? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.